Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Thursday. It's August 29th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. Just a real quick reminder, Monday is This is Labor Day holiday weekend coming up, so Monday will be Labor Day holiday. No trading on Monday. The market's only open for a couple hours, shuts down at noon or whatever, so don't try to trade that. It's not worth trading live. Uh, if you want to try to sim trade it, but usually you get about an hour or two of something like this right here. So I wouldn't waste my time trying to trade it. I don't trade it. I take the day off. If you want to use it to study or whatever, study charts, that's a possibility, but don't try trading that live. So anyway, we won't be back till Tuesday. Um, we'll be back till Tuesday. Yep, tomorrow's Friday, so Fridays we don't do chart lessons on Fridays, and Monday will be a holiday, so it's going to be a long weekend. Enjoy it. Take some time off, rest. You can see we've traded outside the little channel today, but back inside all the way up to made almost. We didn't quite make as high as we'd been with this little double top here, but we got close, and then we closed back inside the channel again. So it looked like it was going to be a really strong trend day, and then we had a pretty good sell-off, and then we just kind of thrashed around for the rest of the day. So we're still just working sideways here. Um, we did close slightly higher today than we did yesterday as well. So um, there it is on the daily chart. Let's flip over to the 2,000 tick chart, take a look, and go through the trades, and we'll wrap this week up. And here it is. You can see the big spike in channel, and it looked like to me we had an overshoot up here, and then just reversed and sold off. We had a correction here, and we never did really make a new low on this down channel here. You can see we never got a close outside the new low. We got the close outside, and they tried to take it lower, but just couldn't, and came back even after the 2:30 hour and still tried and could not take it lower. So there's strong support down here along this level, 56, probably 5604, somewhere right in that area, 5603, 5604. There's strong support. So just watch that level if we test it again, and just be careful around that level until it proves it's not holding us support anymore. But let's go back. There was some news item this morning. It's not showing up on this chart. It shows up on my 1200 tick chart that I have over here that I'm running in the background. It does show up there. So B flat at 7:30. There were two of them. There was the GDP and unemployment claims, and so B flat for that. So you couldn't really start trading until after that news came out. But you can see we made that new high, and then we made a first entry, second entry, and everything's still above the EMA here. So I like taking that second entry long. It's pretty low risk. It's like 8 ticks there. And then we make another new high, and you get another first entry, second entry. This one, you got your new low and your close outside all in one bar, but you can clearly see it bouncing off that trend line, confirms it. Again, I think it's 9 ticks. Yeah, I like going long there. We get up here to the highs, and we try to go higher 3 times and can't go, and you get this bearish bar, and you can clearly see it turning down off that upper trend line. I like just taking a short, just trying to ride it back to the EMA, and we may come all the way back to here. There was a second entry long there. You can see the new high, first entry, second entry, but that signal bar doesn't qualify, and then we actually broke lower here. But again, you would expect that it would try to make a new high. So you're still looking for prices to try to go higher to make a new high on this channel here. Now, sometimes prices don't make a new high or a new low on a retest, but most of the time they will, especially on a trend like this. This is a secondary trend, really, after the spike up. But there's a bigger blue channel. It hadn't been really confirmed yet. It doesn't get really, we don't know it's confirmed until down here. I actually had it drawn a little bit higher, but when we made these lower highs, I redrew it, and it still fit. nicely, so there's not much difference there. But you can clearly see we work down here. You get a close outside, move to a new low, and you get a first entry, second entry right there. It's not a perfect signal bar. I do think it closes in its upper 1/3. If you draw your trend line here, you get a close outside and a new low as well. I usually don't draw them on the retest, and I consider this a retest of this down channel. And then now we're ready, and we're ready to make a retest of this upper channel, and we do just that. We end up going much higher, but because we're in the two-tiered blue channel as well that's set up from here. But I like possibly going long there. It's not a perfect setup, but you do get a break and a new low. And generally you might want to wait on a higher low here, and by the time you get one, it's moved too far. There's a second entry long here. Notice the new high, and it breaks higher, and then it turns right back down and goes lower and comes back up. So when it makes that 2-bar matching high. So when it breaks above that, that's the second entry long. You could look at this as a higher low on that as well. But I don't like that signal bar. I don't think that's good enough. But you might go long right there. I marked it green, but there's no reason you may not consider taking that second entry. There's plenty of room to get out. So, and it does work. You may have to ride out this pullback a little bit, but then it takes off. But you also got a close outside on the green here. Then you make a new high. That one you might consider going short if it had a better signal bar, but it doesn't. So see if you get a lower high. You do. Look how far away you are from the EMA. I like that one. Then we're just kind of chopping along here. You finally get a trend down, and you make a little triple bottom, triple test there. This is actually a tad lower. So, and I like going long there. You've got your break of the khaki channel and a couple of legs to a new low, and looks like we're setting up a range here. So I like going long on that one. Then we run up to the top, and you get at least a triple test, probably more than that. I like going short there. Failed breakout. See if you get a higher low. You get one there, but no setup, and then you try to go lower again, and it fails. So there's a failed second entry short, and it is a reversal where the type of place you would want to find a failure, but it doesn't close above the EMA. But I still think most people could spot that trap right there, and you can tell it was a trap by look how it rockets up real fast, and they run all the stops on this failed breakout, and then it breaks out. It actually keeps going higher here. And we're bouncing along down here. You might have looked at that as a triple test, but then you get an inside bar. So I don't like that one. You break out here. There's still you've got this channel working up. There is a close and a couple of moves up, but that's just not a good enough signal bar in my opinion. There is a double top. It's a possibility. We're in an uptrend, so you got to be careful going short. But maybe you consider that one. Personally, I say sit tight and wait on something better than that. It turns out to be a pretty good move, but then you're back in the channel and it breaks out and goes higher one more time, and no setup this time. The bottom just falls out of it. There is a second entry down here, and you get a close outside and a new low, but again, we just came off the highs, which what looks like an overshoot to me, so I'm not crazy about going long right there. It would have been a nice trade, but I think it's too risky. And then you're just chopping sideways, and we've bounced here several times, and it's right off the midline. We're just going back and forth. So it's just a range play. You're just trying to get to the other side. Now let me say this. We've talked about trying to get some extra ticks. But if you're trying to get extra ticks on an entry, this is not the type you do at these tight ranges, because all they're designed to do is get a scalp. And so don't try going for more than 4 ticks in these tight ranges. And when I say tight ranges, 2 to 3 points. Anything bigger than that where you got a good trend in it, If it's big enough to trend inside of it, a good trend where you can get second entries and stuff off the trend, then yeah, maybe you go long there. Uh, you go for more points there. But when you're playing these tight ranges like this is a 4-tick scalp or you don't take it. So make sure you understand that. I don't want any confusion there. And of course, this runs up and it actually overshoots again. At this point, I moved the channel up, but it would fit okay. So it was kind of hard to know. But when we just reversed and took off, I'm pretty sure this feels like an overshoot. This market was strong, and so I think it's an overshoot. I did mark a short here. Notice you're moving up. You get the close outside the new high. This is a big. It's a big bar. You know, I should have probably marked it. Well, I say 15 ticks. It's a big bar for what we've seen so far, but that's not out of the realm of going short on. And there's plenty of room back to the EMA. I like that short. It ends up pushing up again and getting another overshoot. I mean, this thing was still strong here. The momentum's it's starting to slow down, but it just hadn't quite turned yet. And sometimes that's the problem trying to pick these trades like this is that you got the right idea of wanting to go short up here, but it's the timing issue. Sometimes they just haven't given up yet. The momentum just hasn't turned yet. And so when it ran up here again, this was tempting as well. But we keep going higher. I was scared to go short here, and it looks a little sideways, a little congested. There's not a whole lot of room back to the EMA. Of course, it takes off. So, but you just don't know that in advance. So I think by this time it was better off not to take any more shorts until we get a confirmed trend down. And that doesn't come till right here, but there's no setups there. And then we're chopping sideways again. Another tight range. But notice you get a one. There's probably a quadruple test there, at least a triple test. And it's a lower high from this one. I like going short there. We came off the top, went to the low, back to the top, and then we didn't quite get all the way back down there, so that was a little bit of a concern there. But by the time you've tested it that many times, you're probably going to at least go to the other side. This one's close to maybe calling it green. But I liked it in real time, so I marked it red. But you're probably better off really calling that one a green one. But you do have your close outside new high here too, so but it's still trying to work higher when it should be trying to go lower. Then you get your next bar, but there's just not room to scalp out right there. And you might have moved this down a little bit. It doesn't fit well there because it does still get a touch there, but it doesn't get a touch. I'm sorry, excuse me, but we don't get a bunch of touches across there, so I ended up moving it up a little bit. So maybe this is a little bit of an overshoot or a failed breakout. Then you get another one here, and then it just reverses. Unfortunately, you don't get a signal bar or high or low. It just reverses, breaks out, and then you get a double top with a lower. So basically, that's a lower high. I think it actually makes one or two ticks higher there. Let's just look and see. The high on that one is 55.75, and the high on that one's 55.50. So yeah, it does get a close outside the new high and then a bearish bar. I like going short there. And the only reason this one's green is because it does make a new high, and sometimes those will fail on you. Again, it's a timing issue. The idea is right to go short there, but it's a timing issue, and sometimes they'll fail, so I marked it green as well. I like this one pretty much, but you got to be careful with them. You got a trend working down, close outside, move to a new low. I don't see anything there you can trade, and then all of a sudden just the bottom falls out right here. There's a second entry short here. I did not mark this one because you had this trend really at that point, and you get a break, move to a new low, maybe you get another leg down. But there's no, that's the first close outside. We don't have a new high yet. There's no confirmed trend line here until the lower high, and then you don't get a setup. But then you get a reversal here. But there's also a first entry, second entry. This looks a little sideways congested, but it clearly turns down right off that key entry point, and because it's a failure too, I think you can trade that to the short side. I did mark it green. It's a little convoluted. It's a little, it's a little more advanced. So, and then again, it looks like we get an overshoot. So I don't like this one. It doesn't really look like congestion. This sideways stuff, it doesn't really like congestion. But, and it does have that one tick higher. So, and there's plenty of room to down here. I mean, it's another one you might argue to be green, being right off that key entry point, but I didn't like it. I'm thinking I would probably get a lower high. You don't end up getting it, but that's your hope. And then you get a first entry, second entry. I don't feel like that signal bar is good enough, but a few minutes later you get a lower high, and that signal bar is good enough, so go short right there. This is really a double bottom, so first entry, second entry. That's the way I read that. That looks more like a first entry because this looks like a double bottom. And then you finally get a break, one leg down, and then it comes back, and it gives you a second entry long right here. That's a new high, so first entry, turns lower, comes back. When it breaks above that little 2-bar matching high, it's a second entry long. And so you get 2 legs up, and then you're just kind of, you actually get 2 legs down, but I don't see anything I like, and then you're going sideways here. This is actually a little bit higher here. I liked it right there, but I don't see anything that I like. There's not enough room to scalp out on this one. This one was a thought, a process that maybe you go long there, but that looks like congestion, and it does look. I mean, we closed 3 times outside that trend line. So that one, and then when this one does break higher, but see how it looks like it's going to turn down. That's what you're afraid of. It doesn't end up stopping you out and it goes higher, but what you're afraid of is it stops you out before it goes higher. So anyway, you get a run up, a break, move to a new high. There is a hidden second entry, but no signal bar anyway. And that last push up takes you into 230, and I don't see anything else there I like. There is a second entry long here that is a possibility, but that's not till, that's 6 minutes into after 230, so it's a little pushed a little too far. So there it is. We did close higher, not by much, but we closed higher. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. We did relieve some more of the overbought today. So there would, we do have room to rally again tomorrow. With it being a holiday, it might just be a kind of a quiet day. People taking an early day and kind of waiting, since it's going to be, the market's going to be closed 3 days. You may not get, you may just see a range type day. Doesn't mean we can't get a trend, but a lot of times you'll see a range type day. Sometimes even lower volume on days like that. So we'll have to see what we see when we come in the morning. And again, no chart lessons tomorrow, and none Monday because of the holiday. So we won't be back till Tuesday, but I will be here till probably noontime tomorrow, and we'll do a chart lesson. We'll do I'll send out the mid-morning chart, but no chart lesson until Tuesday. So anyway, hope you had a good week. Hope you had a good day today. We'll be back again Tuesday. I'm done for today. I'm done for this week. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.